welcome to How to Run a Successful Business and Still Have a Life. My name is Stacey Morgan, and on this very rainy day, I'm not sure if you can hear that, it's absolutely pelting outside. On this very rainy day, we have this fabulous episode for you, and it's brought to you by Simply Business Accelerator. The June intake is all about setting goals and really getting control over your work-life balance. If this made your ears stand up, just the thought of getting those two things sorted in your life, then you really need to join us. You can enroll now at simplystacymorgan.com. Today, we are talking about calls to action. Of course, we've spent a lot of time in the last couple of weeks talking about your customer's journey, your customer's problem. But sometimes we do all of the hard work that it takes to get your customers in the door, or to get your customers to hear about you and to start to know, like, and trust you. And then we get shy. And then we decide that it's a bit too scary to ask for the sale or to give them a call to action. And instead, we kind of just shy back behind the counter, or we kind of just move to the side on social media and don't post as often, or don't really get that communication going. And I'm guilty of this too. Hey, I'm not talking from up atop the mountain where I'm doing everything perfectly. I'm learning this every day. But I have learned in my 11 years of business the importance of asking for the sale, in getting that call to action right, and making it really easy for your business, for your customers in your business to understand, hey, what do I do next? We talked about the customer journey and the importance of mapping out that customer journey. And this is such a big part of that, because we can have people that just come along for the ride with us, but never buy from us for years and years and years. What we want to do is make it really clear of what we want the customer to do next. Once they've seen our post, or once they've read our newsletter, or once they've come to our website, what happens now? Do we want them to buy? Do we want them to register? Do we want them to sign up? Do we want them to schedule an appointment, to order, to call us, to something? It's really important that we make it really clear what happens next. It's really funny when I do audits of my clients' websites. So often they have such great content, and I really get a great understanding of who they are and what they want, but it's really hard. They make it really hard to buy now, or to subscribe now, or to sign up. And that button is often at the bottom left-hand side of the page that I have to scroll for hours to get to. And that's crazy. So today we're talking about calls to action, and not missing out on business, not missing out on that money coming through the door, just because we are too afraid to really make it clear what the customer's next call to action is. So it's really important that we build trust in our community, which of course we know, in order to make sure that we're deepening those relationships we're having with customers. Of course, people buy from people. We've talked about that before. And it's really important that people get a good understanding from you, and know, like, and trust you, and are not confused by you and what you're after. You know, when you're in those conversations with people, just when you're out in day-to-day life, and they want to ask you something, but they kind of dance around the topic, and they make small talk, and they go here and there. And sometimes you just kind of going, can you get to the point? Can you tell me what you need? And then I can help you. I don't know if that's just me, but when someone goes to your website, you want to be able to give them that next step straight away, for the people who, have that really deep connection with you really quickly. And you don't want to be the person making small talk on the website. Do you know what I mean? If you're a bit afraid of stepping straight into that call to action because you think that you'll scare people off, you think that it's going to be a little bit risky, then here's a couple of ideas that come directly from the Story Brand Framework and from Donald Miller and his work that can really help you bridge that gap and really get the customer on the other side to really know, like, and trust you. The first thing you can do is give away free information. You can give away free content. You can build trust. You can do a how-to-do video. You can encourage them to come to a free webinar or a free class. There's so many incredible online marketers in the space that are doing that all the time, creating great free content, whether that's an ebook or a class or something that they come to in person. Giving people content and sharing that your knowledge with them is a really great way to build that relationship. You might find that you're currently in that relationship building right now, listening to my podcast. You get to hear my voice, you get to understand who I am, you get to come along on this journey, and in doing that I am building relationship with you, and that's a really special place for me to be, especially if I'm in your car or in your earbuds right now. Hello. You can send some free samples if you have products, if you have really tangible products and you want to be able to build that communication, you can send some samples. Let the customers, have a taste of your product, sample your music, read a chapter of the book that you're writing. It's a really low risk way to encourage people to get to know you better, especially if they're not yet ready to purchase. So, there's a lot of companies out there that will send you a test product. You've all walked into the grocery store where somebody is standing there with a tray and they have some sample products for you to try, even though I haven't really seen that a lot lately because of COVID, but you get the drift. You get what I'm getting at. Giving somebody a little taste of what you can do. I'm not sure if you get this, but I often get pens in the mail with my business name on them. And that's a perfect example. That company I've ordered from in the past, and that's because they've given me a sample of their product and I'm getting to know them and what the quality of the pen is and how it feels in my hand. It's such a great way for them to get me to know, like, and trust their brand, so much more so than I would do if I was in a situation where I was just looking on the internet for pens with branding on it. You can also offer a free trial. So if you have a service, for example, in my dance studio, we offer free trials all the time. We have kids that we bring into the classroom. We give them an opportunity to try the different classes that we have. They can try the different styles. And then we can also see where they will fit best into our dance studio, as well as them getting to experience our different teachers and different studio spaces. You can put together some videos if you're not shy and you're happy to be on video and you're happy to talk about your product and talk about exactly how special your product or service is. Then, that video communication is really important. And of course, on socials, video is the place to be. So it's really important that that is something that you start practicing and that you start trying, especially if you're a little bit shy when it comes to that. And these calls to action are really, really powerful for yourself and for your brand, especially if they are combined with the next step. So if you're going to do that video, what's the next step that happens at the end of that video? How are you showing your customers what happens next? For example, the pen example I gave earlier, that always comes with an order form. That free pen that they send me in the mail, they send me the order form so I can go straight to that, fill it in and send it off. And so that's a great next step call to action. And of course, if you're giving free content, same thing. When you get to the end of the ebook that they're reading, make sure there's a call to action on the bottom. How can they get the rest of the book? How can they take the next step? How can they deepen that relationship with you? That's really, really, really important. And their customers, if they've found your brand, and if they've got that far, if they've watched the video, if they've read the ebook, if they're using the pen, then they're halfway there already. They want to know what happens next. And I really encourage you not to be shy when it comes to that. You want to be able to let them know this is exactly what happens next and this is how I'm going to get you there. So if you can do anything this week, in having listened to this podcast, get out there and make some helpful content. Get out there and give people a sample of what you're offering and follow that up with a really clear, this is what I need you to do next. And we talked about mapping out your customer journey. And if you're unsure of what you want your customer to do next, then make that as part of that customer journey planning. Know that once somebody gets the free ebook, what you want them to do is then buy the entire book. And you want to make sure that's really easy for them. So they have a specific link that they can go to that is just for them and that is easy for you to track and easy for them to purchase. Or you can make sure that once you have sent the physical product, it also comes with an order form for how they can order and pay for their own. You really want to get to that transactional step next, and you really don't want to be afraid of asking for the sale when it comes to that time. Making really big calls to action and really making calls to action that are going to make it easy for your customer to buy from you is a really important step in leveling up your business. Go back and have a look at your website. How easy is it for people to find the next step? Have a look at your newsletter. What links are people following from there on? How can you track them? How can you use those metrics in your business in order to make sure you know exactly where your customers are, whether or not they're buying from you or if they're falling off the radar, and how can you follow up with those customers? That call to action step is so important, and I really encourage you to have a look at what you currently have out there in the marketplace and see how you can do it better this week. Today's episode has been brought to you by Simply Business Accelerator. If you want to join us to do some goal setting and really get on top of your work-life balance, then you can do that. You can register now at simplystacymorgan.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love you to take a screenshot and share it with us on your Insta story. You can tag me at Simply Stacey Morgan. We have a fabulous Facebook group called How to Run a Successful Business and Still Have a Life. Please join us. You can search for us inside the Facebook platform. When all parts of a successful business are healthy, they all work together to fuel sustainable and profitable growth. How healthy is your business, I wonder? If you haven't taken our survey, you can do that now. You just click on the Learn with Stacey tab at simplystacymorgan.com. We are here every week, of course, giving you bite-sized business tips and little tidbits from all of my learnings to help you level up your business and really get that work-life balance right. If there is something you want us to touch on that we haven't yet, please make sure you reach out to us. You can find us at simplystacymorgan.com or send me a DM on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll talk to you next week.